Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Arnold. Glad you could make it today, because in today's episode, we are talking about mainly one thing from the update that was pushed very late last night. But before we do that, let me just explain my excitement for the upcoming faction pass for our little fur babies, the Ewoks. For me personally, I'm not too excited about an Ewok faction pass. I would have rather seen bounty hunters, separatists, Jedi, droids, scoundrels, a bunch of other factions get reworked, but for some reason, they decided to go with an Ewok faction pass. But I know there are a decent amount of you guys out there who are excited for an Ewok faction pass. I made a video 2 days ago going over some factions and characters that need a rework, and I sent you guys a survey to give me your answer, and out of all the factions, Ewoks kind of came in the middle for most desired faction pass rework, and it looks like we are getting it, so not sure what's in store for them, but hopefully for you guys that are excited for them, it's something that's really going to pay off. For me personally, I'm not really ready. I got, I think, a Gear 9 or Gear 8 Tebow, Gear 8 Ewok Elder, and a level 1 Ewok Scout, and a level 1 Chief Chirpa that is only at 3 stars, so I am not ready, and I'm not going to gear and farm up these characters until I know exactly what this Ewok faction pass is looking like. But in today's episode, guys, we are talking about a new addition to the Shard Shop, and that is the Ghost and Phantom 2. Now, the Shard Shop is more of an advanced place of farming items. It's not for beginner players, it's for more advanced players who are more well situated in the game, who have been playing for a long time, like myself. If you are interested, in the top right of the video, there will be a card you can click on. It will take you to my Shard Shop farming guide that I made about 2 or 3 weeks ago, telling you the free-to-play method of how to farm out of the Shard Shop for absolutely free to get characters and apparently ships now that are normally premium items in the game. This is the first time they are adding ships in a way that you can farm, kind of like Darth Nihilus, all the Phoenix characters that we have not too long ago, and I'd like to start making quick videos on whether or not you should farm these items out of the Shard Shop, because I get the question so much, hey, should I farm Sith Assassin, Sith Trooper, Darth Nihilus, the Phoenix characters out of the Shard Shop? And to help answer this question, I have this nice little graphic that will help guide us on the overall rating of if you should get that item from the Shard Shop. So to help us with this question of viability, I have yet again another graphic that we will use to analyze whether this ship is viable for Fleet Arena. Now, for my ships in-depth reviews, I normally look at a couple of key stats: speed, health, protection, the combined health and protection, as well as damage. And with these two ships, all you guys need to know is that they are fairly nimble, that do a fair amount of damage, but they are quite frail. For example, protection as well as combined health and protection, they are in the bottom third of the game, but for speed and damage, they are in the top third of the game, so they are fast, but also very frail. And as we know, numbers don't tell the full stories. We're fast, kind of fragile, but we need to know what the kit looks like. I'm not going to go in depth about it because I want to keep these videos nice and sweet and short as possible, but pretty much all you need to know, if you're in a team that has a lot of rebels, you're using an Admiral Akbar leadership for your fleet commander, and if you also have ships that go into stealth quite frequently, such as Cassian's ship or Darth Maul's Scimitar, these ships will be absolutely amazing, and even more amazing when you put them together side by side. However, outside of that, if you're someone like me who doesn't have many rebels, I just use Biggs on my team, but I also use Darth Vader, the Scimitar, also Boba Fett's Slave 1, then these two ships don't fit in quite as well. They will do alright, but they excel mainly in teams like I mentioned earlier, and I don't think right now they are going to be your best all-around ships, kind of like Biggs and Darth Vader, which are two ships that work in many different types of lineups. So for viability, how good is the item in question? We are going to give them 3 stars. They are good, but I do not think they're going to be the best all-around ships in the game like Biggs and Darth Vader, as I've kind of mentioned. So 3 stars means they are good, so it's a good ship to farm. Next up on our list is farming difficulty. How difficult is it to farm this Shard Shop character or ship in other avenues of the game outside of the Shard Shop? And the more difficult it is, the more stars I will be granting this ship or character, and also the more difficult it is to farm the character or ship makes it a more valuable option to farm it out of the Shard Shop. I talk about this in my Shard Shop free-to-play guide. Check it out if you want to, but long story short, you don't want to be farming easily accessible characters out of the Shard Shop. For example, you don't want to farm Zeb out of the Shard Shop because you can get him in Galactic War very quickly. Now, both of these ships have a single hard battle you can farm them on. The Ghost can be farmed on the Dark Side Hard Battle 9C, and the Phantom 2 can be farmed on the Dark Side Battle 9D. So having only a single hard node means it will take forever to farm the character or ship the 7 stars. But fortunately, with these 2 ships, you also can get them out of fleet shipments. So as a result, because of the fact we have a single hard battle and we also have the fleet shipments, which isn't impossible, that's how a lot of people got their Chiro Imwe as well as the TIE Advance like myself, we are going to give this a 3-star rating for farming difficulty. And just for reference, if you are curious, if this only had a single hard battle and nothing else, kind of like Darth Nihilus, Director Krennic, and Baze, we would give it a 4-star rating because it is extremely difficult to farm that item outside of the shard shop. The third thing on our list is usefulness. How many game modes can this thing participate in, and how good is it in those various game modes? For these 2 ships, unfortunately at this time, ships is just constrained to Fleet Arena, so they can't be used for too many things, but as I've said in many other videos, it's not hard to imagine them releasing some type of raid specific event which requires ships, but as of now, I'm only going to give it a 2-star rating for usefulness because it only can be used in Fleet Arena. However, it is quite good for Fleet Arena, so it's not bad, but it also can't be used for many other things. So as of now, we'll give it a 2, but maybe sometime down the line, it will be a much better ship because of other avenues in the game that become open. And then lastly, we are looking at the overall quality of the investment of getting the item out of the shard shop, and this is a pretty easy analysis. We simply take all the previous stars, divide them by 3, and see what the average star count is, and for getting either one of these ships, they are both equally good. We're going to give it a 2.5-star rating because of the fact 3 plus 3 plus 2 comes out to roughly 2.5. So it's a slightly above average investment. You wouldn't be doing a horrible thing if you got them out of the shard shop, unlike if you farmed Zeb or Chopper out of the shard shop. That is a pretty bad investment. For these 2 ships, it's not the worst thing in the world if you decide to go all out and farm them. Me personally, I will not be getting them out of the shard shop. I'd much rather just get them out of fleet shipments, take my time. There is no rush as of now. It's not like there's some super amazing raid at this very moment. If there was, that might change my opinion a little bit more, but I honestly think it's just best to kind of take your time, get it out of fleet shipments like you do with many other ships such as the Scimitar, Slave One, and characters like Chiro Imwe. So hopefully this episode was helpful for you guys, especially those who were on the fence of whether you should go and farm these ships, because this is the first time they are letting us farm ships like this, where they always have set amounts available out of the shard shop and not randomly popping up like the TIE Advance. If you guys like the structure of these videos, I would really like to make this a series because the shard shop has been a very powerful tool of farming things for me without spending any money. So if you guys did enjoy this, let me know down below. Every time they rotate items out of the shard shop and put things in, I can quickly go over if they are viable and do a format very similar to this structure. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please feel free to leave me that like, comment down below on anything else you'd like to talk about. B2 Super Battle Droid in-depth review coming out this weekend. Been getting a lot of requests about that for the longest time now. But until then, we will talk again very soon. Peace out!